If you have paper and pencil, whiteboard, whatever you have at home to use. I'm going to share my screen. Alrighty. So there's 5 questions today. Number 1, you are dividing some fractions. Number 2, figuring out what percent that Sandra got on her test if she got 12 out of 15 questions correct. Number 3, you're multiplying some decimals. Number 4, you're finding the factors of number 48. So all the numbers that multiply to 48. And then number 5, you're going to convert that fraction 7/8 to a decimal and a percent. So we'll give you guys about 8 minutes until 10:10. So 8 minutes. Do as many as you can in that time, please. Go.
Are we doing a quiz today for math? No. Oh, no. Doing it wrong. Well, we'll get that done, we should be over it. You guys should just merge the markers.
We train our desks every day.
It doesn't matter if you wipe it with your fingers. Just the eraser will stand up.
Wow, we cleaned it a little bit.
No.
But it just looks like a flower thing in the eye. That's what I'm not terrible for. I know.
About 3 more minutes.
I wonder what it has. I don't know. Yesterday, we had some outer space pizza. Oh no, we call like the last. Our galaxy. Yeah, because the cheese was not from the gold. It was weird.
Yeah.
But then he still ate it.
I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
He was like,
That's what I
it
thought.
tasted weird. It has to get a nasty aftertaste. He eats it all.
When you Taco Tuesday last night, I got 2 tacos. I ate 1 taco last night. I said the other taco today.
Okay. That sounds delicious.
I know.
I thought you were going to Saturday.
Yeah, but I went to Taco Tuesday last night.
Are you ready to go to the place? They don't, they thought you were vegetarian, no?
No.
They don't, I thought you were vegetarian.
I have a rice and beans taco. Why don't I live in Winslow? Because I don't have a beans.
So maybe somewhere that it was Taco Tuesday.
I don't want to go to the store and see all of you guys.
Why?
Thank you. It's just imagine walking to the store and seeing it. Yeah.
I see what
You guys are always in casual clothes.
Yeah. Are you?
No. She's always
Halfway.
not wearing the same shoes.
Like
I
me.
am too.
Like, Layla told you about those shoes.
Oh yeah, I didn't know she had similar shoes when I bought shoes like this because they were just easy to wear.
Yeah. She was wearing them, then she wanted to wear them too.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and go over these. Okay, so we have 5 problems. I'm gonna get out of this.
Your shoes are off, baby.
I know I went hiking in them.
Yeah, because she always goes hiking in dirt.
Mine are white there.
Alright. Can you guys see the board behind me? All good.
No, you don't.
First one, number 1. 3/4 divided by 5. We're dividing fractions here, but 5 is not a fraction. How do I make it a fraction? Put a 1 under it. Now it's a fraction. Now we can do keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, change the division, flip the second fraction. So we have 3/4. What do I change division to? Multiplication. And what do I flip? 5 over 1. 1 over 5. And now we have a multiplying problem. We multiply fractions. Good. Straight across. 3 times 1 is? And 4 times 5 is? Can I simplify 3/20?
No. Yes.
Nope. This is our answer. 3/20. All right. Our next one. We got a score of 12 out of 15 on our test. Or was it Sandra? What was her name? Something like that. Anyway, this girl got a 12 out of 15 on her test. We need to figure out the percentage that she got. So we need to change our fraction to a percent. How do I do that? We can simplify it. Or we can, what? Divide. Take our top number and divide it by our bottom number. So 12 divided by 15. Can I do that?
No.
Nope. So we can add a decimal and a 0, bring our decimal straight up. Now, how many times is 15 going to 120?
8 times.
8?
Yeah.
That seems like too many. No, you're right. Right, 120? Yep. Goes in 8 times. So we got 0.8. Okay, focus. We have 0.8, but this is not a fraction. What is it called? Percent. We need to change it to a percent. We need to move the decimal to the right. How many times? Twice. Always twice. No matter what, you always move it twice. So this is an 80% on her test.
Wow, she's really smart.
She did pretty good. All right. Now we need to multiply these decimals. What'd you guys get? I don't want to do it.
I didn't get nothing.
Sorry I'm late, Miss Jones. I was playing a game.
Okay. So 9 times 3 is what?
18.
27. Carry your 2. Okay, there is way too much talking for the people that are in person. Keep it quiet, please. What's 3 times 0? Plus 2.
0.
Plus the 2 that we carried over is 2. Then we have 3 times 3. 9. What do I have to put in here? Good, our placeholder 0. Then we can do 2 times 9. 18. Carry our 1. What's 2 times 0? Plus 1. And 2 times 3. 6. Then we add. So it's 7,107. But is it 7,107?
No, you have to move your decimal.
No. Yeah, we need to move our decimal. If
7.107.
good, there is 1, 2, 3 numbers behind our decimal in our problem, so we move our decimal 1, 2, 3 times.
Why if you put zeros behind them? So the same.
Like this? That's still the same number. It's still the same number. You can drop the zeros or add as many zeros as you want, and it's still the same number.
Yeah.
Up here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do it. Let's see.
You still get the same answer.
You should get the same answer.
Zeros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. We need to list all the numbers that multiply to 48. Let's start with 1. 1 times what is 48? 1 times 48. What about 2?
Yeah.
2 times
24.
24. What about 3? Does 3 go into 48?
Yeah.
It does. How many times? 3 times 16. What about 4? Does 4 go into 48?
Yeah.
How many times?
4 times.
4 times 12. What about 5? Does 5 go into 48?
No.
6?
Yeah, that's
6 does. 6 times
48.
8. What about 7?
No.
Nope. And then we know that 8 does. 9. Nope. Once we get to this side and we're going up, we're done. So these are our factors of 48. And then our final one, 7/8. We need to change that to a decimal and a percent, which is basically doing the process of number 2 all over again. We got to divide. 7 divided by 8. Does it? Does 8 go into 7? Nope. We got to add a 0 and a decimal. And bring the decimal up. Now, does 8 go into 70? 8 times, yep. So that's 64 minus and get 60. Does 8 go into 60?
Yeah.
How many times?
3 times.
More than that.
5.
7 times. Skylar, watch your language. 56. You get a 4. We can add 1 more 0. Drop it down. Does 8 go into 40? 5 times. And it goes in evenly, so we're done. So our decimal, 0.875. But now we also need a percent. If we're changing a decimal to a percent, we take our decimal and move it how many times to the right? Always twice. Twice to the right. And you get 87.5%. So there's our answer for those ones. Okay? So, how do we do on those overall? Okay? 4 out of 5? That's not bad. we're going to go ahead and do some practice. So as we were talking, I'm going to leave this up a little bit behind me so that I can write on the board behind me. As we were talking, an assignment did post on Google Classroom. So we're going to go ahead and go over to Google Classroom and open that up. It is called, if you scroll down to math, good, whole group ordering rational numbers practice. And everybody has their own set of Google slides. There's only 2 slides, 3 slides? 3 slides. But there's 12 problems on it. Yep. We're going to do a couple together. Let's say we'll do 3 together, and then I'm going to have you guys do the rest on your own as practice for the rest of the day. So, well, the rest of math class. So let's see. Let's look at these. I'm going to zoom in.
You're not presenting.
I'm not presenting.
Yeah,
Sorry. My bad. Thank you.
it's all right.
You guys in person are supposed to tell me that stuff.
I did too.
Okay, so let's try this again. On Google Classroom, we have the assignment whole group ordering rational numbers practice. You'll open up the Google Slides and it will look like so. Yes, Charlie, you can fill up your water bottle. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see these a little bit better. Go for 100.
I feel like we mostly work on the computer instead of paper.
Yes, we do. Because people are at home and I can't give them paper to work on. So we do everything on the computer.
Yeah, I don't like online.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys about 1 more minute. Go ahead and get that pulled up. I think we're gonna do number 1 together. Let's see what else. We'll do number 4 and 7. Those sound good. Number 1, number 4, and number 7 we'll do together. Okay, so we'll do 3 practice ones. The way this works is you'll do the work on whatever paper or whiteboard or whatever you have to do the work on, and then your answer can be typed into that gray box. So you double click in it and you can type your answers there. Okay, so you just need to make sure you do it on the correct box. If we answer number 1 together, make sure you write it in number 1. We're going to answer number 1, number 4, and number 7 together. So just make sure you put them in the correct boxes and you're good.
Okay.
So let's start with number 1. I'm going to write it behind me. All right, so we have -1/4, negative 2.25, 0, -3, and negative. We need to put these in order from least to greatest. So, how are we doing online? We ready to go?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I'm just gonna stop presenting for a minute so that the camera, the recording can pick up what we do. So, remember yesterday we talked about how when we put these things in order from least to greatest, they need to be in the same format. They all need to be fractions, they all need to be decimals, or they all need to be percents. Most of these are already decimals because a whole number is a decimal. So 0 is a decimal, -3 is a decimal. So the best thing we're going to do here, quickest way, is to take our -1/4 and also change it to a decimal. Now when you do that, you can just ignore the negative and just put it back on at the beginning. So we need to change 1/4 to a decimal. How do I do that? We have to divide. Take our numerator 1, divide it by our denominator 4. Does 4 go into 1? Nope. Gotta add a decimal and a 0. Bring up our decimal. Doesn't go into 1. Does it go into 10?
Yeah.
How many times?
No.
Twice. And that's an 8. We subtract and get 2. Let's add another 0. Does 4 go into 20?
Yeah.
How many times?
5.
5 times. And it goes in evenly. So now we have this negative 1/4 is really negative 25 hundredths. We also have negative 2 and 25 hundredths. We have 0, negative 3, and negative 3.5. Yeah, what's up? Nope, think about a number line. The farther left you go, the less it gets. So, we need to put these in order from what? Least to greatest or greatest to least? Least to greatest. So we need to figure out which one is the smallest. Now, these are all negative except for 0. And if you think about a number line, 0's in the middle. Anything to this way is positive. Anything this way is negative. And the farther you go left, the smaller the number gets. So less. So we need to figure out which one is our least.
0.
Not 0. 0 is actually the biggest one in this one. 0 is the greatest.
Wait, why?
So if we look at a number line, I'm going to plot all these on a number line. So there's 0,
Also, it's on the positive.
negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, right? So we have 0 right here.
So is that it's on the positive side?
It's technically not positive or negative. It's right in the middle. If we plot negative 0.25, that's about right here. So we have 0, negative 0.25. Negative 2.25 is about here. Negative 3 is right here. And negative 3.5 is over here. So which one is our least, the smallest? The farther left we go. Which one is the smallest? The negative 3.5 would be first. Then it would be what? Negative 3 would be next. Then what's our next one? Negative 2.25. Then we have what? Well, negative 0.25. But that was what originally? Negative 1/4. And then we have 0. So all of these numbers are less than 0 because they're farther left on our number line. Does that make a little bit of sense? Yeah? Okay, we need to go and plot or put these on our answer key. So I'm going to share my screen again and put it on our answer sheet. This is number 1, yep. So
These are kind of hard.
they're a little bit difficult, but you'll get better at them as we keep going. So on number 1, you kind of got to double click until you can type into it. And then we need to write it in this order. So we have negative 3.5 first. Huh? The text box is already there.
I can't see the middle part. Right in the middle.
So negative 3.5. The next one was negative 3. And then negative 2.25. You might need to make your font smaller. Then we had negative 1/4. And then 0. I'm going to make my font a little bit smaller so that it all, well, actually it all fits. If I need to move the text box a little bit up. Oh, just kidding. Don't move the text box. The whole thing moves instead. There we go. So that's number 1. Those were all negative, a little bit more difficult.
Can I check it? So what was the order?
It's up there.
My Asian eyes can't see it.
Number 1. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a minute to get that typed out.
go to lunch straight at 11?
We've been going to lunch at 11 all week.
I haven't noticed. I was gone all week.
All right. I'm going to erase this stuff behind me so that we can look at number 4. All right. So number 4, we have 7, 5, -5, 3, and 2. So 7, 5, -5, 3, 2. Best way to do these ones is make a number line. Put the number 0 right in the middle. Okay. Are we good online? Still following? Still good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So, if we have this number line, the numbers behind it are negative. -1, -2, -3, keep going, -4, -5.
Is this number 2?
This is number 4. Number 4.
And the next one is 7?
And we'll do 7 after this. Yeah, but this is number 4. And then on the right side, as you draw a number line, the numbers get more positive. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So the numbers get more positive. Now we can just plot these points on our number line to figure out the order for least to greatest. So if we put the number 7 on our number line,
Miss Jones, you have a number line up there.
I know I have a number line up there.
And they can't see it.
They can't see it. I'm not going to draw on my number line, so we're drawing our own. But if we need to plot the number 7 on this number line, you're going to look for the number 7. It's positive, so it goes right there. So we've done the first one. What about 5? Is it positive or -5? Positive, so it goes on the positive side. -5, positive or negative? It's negative, so we're going to go backwards to -5. What about +3? It's positive, so we're going to go to the right to number 3. And what about 2? Positive, so we're going to go to the right to the number 2. So now we have our numbers. Anything that's all the way to the left is your least, the one that's the smallest. And then to the right is greatest. So we need to put these in order from least to greatest. Which one is the least?
5.
5? 5 is over here. -5.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to say negative.
Well, there's a difference between a positive and -5. Yes. Number 4. Okay, so -5 is farthest left. What's next? 2. Then what? 3. Then 5 and 7. So that's what we need to go type out in number 4.
I got it. I got it.
Oh, Yoshi.
All right, so on our answer key, number 4, we have -5, comma, 2, comma, 3,
Which one is this one?
number 4.
It's kind of easy when you're doing the number line.
Yeah, I would say that you guys can draw the number lines. There's no reason why you can't. If they help you, draw the number lines out and put the points on the number line.
They help me.
If you put them on the number line, it's pretty easy to see which one is the least because it's the one that's farthest to the left,
Pretty easy to use that number line.
and then you go in order.
Can you go to number 1? I didn't catch the last one.
There you go.
So we're
Oh,
on number
sorry, hang
7.
on. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's not saying. There we go.
Oh, I accidentally put mine in as number 2.
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, make sure it's on number 4.
Okay, I'll go back. Fix it.
All right.
Okay, got it.
I'll give you guys a minute for this one, and then we'll do one more together, and then I'm going to have you guys try some on your own. Okay, I'm gonna get number 7 written on the board. Number 7. Number 7, we have 1/3. -2, -3, 0.67, and -5. All right.
Are there any greatest to least ones?
I don't think so. I think they're all least to greatest on this practice. Okay. Are we good to go to number 7, or do you guys need another
Yeah.
minute to work those out? All right, let's look at
Yeah,
number
good to go.
7 then. So on the board behind me, I wrote out the numbers. Again, I think that using a number line is probably a good idea. But before we do that, we need to make sure that all of these are in the same format. Most of them are already decimals. So what should we do to this fraction? Make it a decimal. How do I change a fraction to a decimal? Divide. Take the top number 1, divide it by 3. And then we can add a decimal and a 0, bring up our decimal. Does 3 go into 10?
Yeah.
How many times?
This is a repeating one, just so you know.
It is a repeating one. It goes in 3 times. 9, subtract and get 1. Add a 0. You get 3 again. 9, 0, or 1, sorry. Then you get another 3. So it's 0.33333, and it just keeps going on and on and on. But we're going to cut it off and say that it is 0.33. So 33 hundredths. Okay? Now, let's make another number line. We're going to put the 0 kind of over here. There's a 1. I'm going to do a -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. So I have my number line. We need to plot these points on the number line. Let's start with 0.33. What two numbers is 33 hundredths in between? What two whole numbers is 0.33 in between? Is it between -3 and -4, -1 and 0, 0 and 1? What's it in between?
Between 0 and 1?
It's between 0 and 1, right? It's a little bit farther to the left. This is our 0.33, right? It's not quite to 1, but it's not 0. It's in between 0 and 1. So we have that one. What about -2? Where does -2 go?
Between, yeah.
On the -2.
-2.
Good. What about the -3? Where does that go? On the -3.
On the -3.
Okay, this one, 0.67. Which two numbers is that in between?
0 and 1.
It's in between 0 and 1.
0 and
Is
1.
it less than 0.33 or will it be greater than?
It's greater than.
It's greater
Less than.
because 6 is greater than 7, so or greater than 3. So sorry. So it's a little bit more to the right, closer to the 1. So we graph that one. What about -5? Where does that go?
-5.
On the -5. Now we need to write these in order from least, the ones that are farthest left, to greatest. So what's my first number? -5.
-5.
And then -3, then
-3, then
Oh, I gotta
-2.
switch those two around.
Okay. And then it's the 33 hundredths, 0.33, but we need to write it as its original form, which was what? 1/3.
1/3.
And then we can put down our 0.67. And there's our order from least to greatest. So we just need to go type that out.
My marker stopped working for a second.
Oh, that's not good. Does the number line help you guys a little bit?
Yes.
Good.
Not a little bit, a lot.
Yeah.
Good. I would say use, I have no problem with you guys drawing number lines as many times as you need to. So I would say keep drawing the number lines and using number lines to do these ones. Okay? So make sure you write your answer on number 7. It's not number 5 or whatever. Make sure it's down on number 7. And it goes -5, -3, -2, 1/3, and 0.67. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but it happened. No, I just chose random ones that looked like we could.
What are we doing next?
What we're doing next is having you guys work on the ones that we did not do on your own and see how well you guys can do these on your own.
Wait,
There's a
so
journal-
are we gonna go over them at the end once everyone's done?
I don't think we'll have time. So I'm gonna have you guys work on them on your own. And no matter how much you get done in the next 20 minutes, I want you guys to turn them in at 11 o'clock so that I can look at them tonight and choose the ones that maybe you guys were like really not good at that we can review tomorrow. Okay? So basically, I want you to spend the next 20 minutes doing as many of these as you can. If you get through 1 or 2, that's fine. If you finish all of them, that's fine as well. But I want you, oh my gosh, it won't stop. I want you to be doing the rest of these on your own. And at 11 o'clock, when they go to lunch and you guys go take a break, I want everybody to turn it in so that I can look it over and see what we need to fix and keep working on. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm just going to say, work on the problems on your own. This is your to-do list right here. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, like I said, do as many as you can. Okay. So that's what you're doing. Working on the problems on your own for the next 20 minutes or so until we head up to lunch. And yeah, let me know if you guys need anything or need any clarification. But go ahead and be working on that, please. Turn the. Hang on one sec. Let me